And we couldn't get a room. We only had about $2 or $3. We couldn't get a room for everyone. So my sister and this other girl and I let the boys out down the highway, and we rented the cabin. So the lady let us, 3 of us, have one cabin, you know. And we were in there for a little while, and Clyde and these other 2 boys climbed in the window. So the lady had been back once with the towels and the water, and we thought that was over, you know, and so we let them in the window. And it wasn't long till she was knocking on the door. Well, we had to hide them. And there was not a good room, you know, not for $2. And so we hid them behind this curtain, which had like about 2 feet a foot coming on down to the... Here she came back for something, and we were scared to death that she's going to look over there and see the 3 men's feet. Well, you know, it was just one of those things that we thought was real cute after it was over.
You still got the room for $2?
We got the room for $2.
What about the guns? Did you see the guns they carried?
Yes, I saw the guns. They didn't ever have any machine guns. They had pistols and a sawed-off shotgun.
Did you ever see them use them?
No.
How often did they come to Dallas?
About sometimes once a month. How they got in touch with us. Clyde's daddy had a filling station, and they would come by and have a note and throw it and put it in a Coke bottle or something and throw it out the filling station. And Clyde's father would pick it up, and they would tell us where to meet him. So many times that they'd come in, even in daytime. I remember that several times that Clyde had a red wig Bonnie had purchased for Clyde. And in the daytime, she would put the wig on him and put lipstick on him and fix his face up, you know. And one time when he was fixed up like that, coming in, he ran into a deputy sheriff. And this deputy sheriff had put Clyde in jail so many times. It was out on close to Irving, his little town. And the deputy sheriff waved at Clyde. Clyde waved at the deputy sheriff. Never did know who they were.
Some people are under the impression that Clyde was not a normal person, that he may have been a homosexual. What can you tell us about this?
Clyde was just as normal as any person I have ever known. I remember another time that I was with them, and we were in a motel, and they needed guns. And there was an armory in this town. So the 3 men, Clyde and the other 2 men, they went over to the armory and broke into this place. And so while they were in there, they got the soldier uniforms. And they got boxes and boxes of guns. So, of course, we were all back at the motel, the 3 of us, and scared to death. And up drove this car. 3 men get out, dressed in these guard suits, and like scared us to death. We started climbing out the windows to run, and it was them. Well, they had all these guns. So the next day, we didn't even look at them. The next day, we went way out in the country, close to a lake, and we started looking in the boxes, the guns, and they didn't know that in an armory, that just parts of a gun, you know, maybe the stock or whatever it is in one box, and the other part of it is maybe in another room somewhere. So we had dozens and dozens of pieces of guns. So we threw them in the lake.
Who was Raymond Hamilton?
Raymond Hamilton was a boy that from West Dallas. And he and Clyde used to be good friends. And Raymond went to the penitentiary. And Clyde got Raymond out of the penitentiary. He hid some guns on the farm and let Raymond know where the guns were. So it was a real foggy, misty morning, and Raymond and several more prisoners darted toward the guns and found the guns. And in this break, there was 1 guard killed. But Clyde got Raymond out of the penitentiary.
Who put the guns there for them?
Clyde.
Did you drive Bonnie and Clyde on their trips?
No,
Who was their chauffeur?
Clyde was.
Didn't they have another chauffeur?
I have never seen anybody drive that car but Clyde.
You've told us that Bonnie was sick from time to time. Was she ever hurt?
Yes, Clyde and Bonnie had a car wreck. They were driving down the highway, and they were had been repairing the highway. There were no signs, detour signs. So as they were going up this little hill, well, Clyde made the remark, "Hold your hats, might not have a bottom." Well, it didn't have a bottom. So they went down, and the car caught on fire. Bonnie's leg, all the muscle, she was burned to the bone on her calf her leg, and the tendons back here cut. Burned. She never walked anymore straight. She walked with a limp, a bad limp. She never got over that. So that was one of the times that I went to her. Clyde came after me, and they were in Arkansas. And we was all in this motel. The lady and band that had the motel, they were real nice. Of course, they didn't know who we were or anything. And they'd bring Bonnie's lunch over, and their daughter was a nurse, and she doctored her quite a few times, doctored her leg. So these other two men that were with them, they left. They had two cars. They left and they had a car wreck. They came back, and they were hurt. One's ankle was almost broken, and they had knots and all over their heads, and they looked terrible. And we had to leave. And we only had one car, and it was a roadster. So we had to have blankets. It was cool at night, and we knew that we'd have to go out in the woods. We had to have blankets and clean sheets for Bonnie. So Clyde took the blankets and the clean sheets, and he left $10 on the chest of drawers for, to pay for the sheets and the blankets. So we went out in the woods and stayed for a couple of days, and we went to a filling station to get some gas, and all of them had, like I say, they had black eyes and skins on their head, and Bonnie was sick, and Clyde made the remark. The filling station man kept looking at me, and he looked at all the rest of them. Clyde made the remark after we left. I bet the filling station man thought, that red-headed woman, she got mad and whipped them all.
That's a good bit. Do you feel that proper medical attention would have prevented the limp that she had?
No, I don't think so.
No way that she could have done the things that she was supposed to have done with this limp.
That's right. She was, she was accused of so many things. Bonnie could never walk straight. Bonnie could never drive a car. In fact, I never heard or saw Bonnie drive a car in all of her life. But she could never walk straight. She walked with a bad limp. She couldn't have done anything. She had to be helped in the car.
She did not get around very well.
She did not get around.
Clyde have any brothers or sisters?
Yes. He had, one of his brothers was with him during this time.
Who
Bonnie.
was this?
That was Buck Barrow.
Most brothers clown around and have a lot of fun together. What sort of relationship was there between Clyde and Buck?
Oh, they